Oye, mi gente, you're listening to the Red Lips Real Talk podcast,
where we talk about life, love, and everything in between. You already know. It's time to get real.
Dale. Music and the arts have been proven to have a powerful impact on our children's lives, nurturing creativity, self-expression, and emotional growth. Through rhythm, color movement, and sound, children are able to explore their identities and connect with the world around them in meaningful ways. Whether it's learning to play an instrument, dancing, or performing on stage, the arts encourage curiosity, boost confidence, and help develop critical thinking and communication skills. When I was a young girl, I struggled with confidence and self-esteem. My music teacher in high school was Miss Capeza. She was one of the first people to truly believe in me. She convinced me to try out for the school choir, ultimately helping me find my own voice. I joined an a cappella group, and we traveled for 2 years performing all over South Florida, and we called ourselves the Madrigals. I built everlasting memories that I cherish in my heart, even in those hideous blue dresses that she made us wear. They were very ugly. But thanks to music and the arts, and of course, Miss Capeza, who I hold dearly in my heart, I know that was the catalyst to helping me start believing in myself. On today's episode on Red Lips Real Talk, we are excited to introduce you to a wonderful, dynamic, beautiful Latina woman serving our South Florida community with our children. She is the founder and director of Encore Academy of the Arts in Miami. They are currently celebrating their 15-year anniversary. She graduated cum laude from FIU and a double major in piano performance and music education, receiving awards for outstanding academic achievements in music. She completed her master's degree in piano performance, also at FIU, and she received a full scholarship. So let's give a warm Red Lips welcome to the beautiful Deborah Sanchez.
Thank you. Thank you. I got emotional with that intro because you speak exactly from your heart, from an experience that really is my hope. It's really that music makes a difference.
Oh, you're tearing up.
Yeah, I did. I did. I know. I was like, I can't. I started crying already. But yeah, it was, yeah.
So before we begin our show, I'm going to be a girl right now. Like your hair, girl. Yes. Your hair. Like, I'm like, oh my God.
Well, those are my natural grays.
Wow.
I have grays since I was 15. And I knew I was not going to keep up with going to the hair salon every 3 weeks because my hair does grow very fast. So I said, you know what? I'm going to wear them and I'm not going to dye it. And I never dye them. So
you must get beautiful all the time.
I do. They stop me and they're like, are those natural? And I say, yes, they are. They are. Thank you.
It looks great.
Thank you so much.
Just, I want to scale this back because I want our listeners and also us, the ladies of Red Lips, we really want to get to know you. So
thank you.
All we want to know is basically tell us a little bit about yourself.
About me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me here today. This is a very special invitation, and I'm honored to be here with you all. So I came from Cuba when I was 13 years old. I came I went to the Dominican Republic and then came here. And my parents, none of them are musicians. My dad is an architect. My mom is a chemist. And in my family, really, there was nobody that played music or was a musician. And when I got here, I got a lot of advice not to continue music, not to do music because music was not the typical career to make big money and my parents were always supportive, and they were always insisting on I should do what makes me happy. And they were, if music makes you happy, that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, we're here to support you. And I went to Braddock. That was a school that was close to the house of my aunt where I first lived. And it was a public school. I came from a school of about 15 kids in a room to a school of 6,000 people.
Wow.
So it was pretty different. It was pretty a big change. Mm-hmm. But I had wonderful teachers, from my ESOL teacher to Miss Garces. Miss Garces was actually one of the first ones to discover that I played piano. She was a teacher that they put me on my schedule for, I think it was a psychology class of some kind. And I actually showed up to the class late because I got lost in that humongous place. And I got late to her class and she spoke to me in English. I didn't understand anything. I didn't speak anything, not even one word. I think I only understood yes, thank you, that was it. So she realized that I didn't understand anything and she then translated. She started speaking to me in Spanish. And bueno, long story short, she gave us a project where we had to talk about ourselves. And of course, I spoke about my piano. I had no piano, nothing to practice on, nothing. It had been like probably a month since I had arrived. And she read the essay, which I obviously wrote in Spanish, and she talked to the principal and said, this girl needs to move from my class. Although I love her, she's a great student, but she needs to go into a piano class because she needs to practice somewhere. So she introduced me to the piano teacher there, my ESOL teacher also, and they all started talking to me about New World School of the Arts. They got me the application to New World School of the Arts, the actual paper one back then. It was on paper. And then I started practicing in a room that they had where they had a piano after school. So I would stay after school and practice there for months and months until my parents bought their first furniture, which was a piano. Back then from the flyer. Remember the flyer?
Yeah.
Flyer. So they found a piano. It was, I think, $200 or something like that.
Yeah.
They moved it themselves. They broke a leg, but it still played. And that was my piano for years. And that's where I prepared for the audition at New World of School of the Arts. Thanks also to Miss Darlene Trujillo, who was my angel. Back then, she taught me piano for free. She prepared me for the audition. And I auditioned in 10th grade. There was only one opening that year because at New World back then there was piano program, and if one student left then one student would get in. So I applied and I got the position, and I started there from 11th and 12th grade. So I did my last 2 high school years at New World School of the Arts, and it was an unbelievable experience. I loved it. And then from there, as you know, I went to FIU and et cetera, et cetera. But the beginning was, it was, I want to say a little rough, but I was very blessed to meet great people that really helped me along the way, who believed in me, who saw that I really had a passion for music. That was really what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And really, money was not my thing. It was to do what I love. And I think that's what makes the journey so fun, because I really do what I love.
Yes.
So, and I think what everybody should do.
It's like they say every day, if you do what you love every day, you're not really working.
Of course, yeah.
Right.
It's true. When I come here, it's like, okay, this is my happy place.
Right.
It's not really, I don't feel it's working, honestly. And the kids really make it even more special. So
that's a beautiful story. And also your parents, how they were so supportive. Yes, and it's a world that they know nothing about.
Nothing. They are really my biggest fans, for sure. But they can also be my biggest, they will tell me when I do something they know it could be better. They're not always saying, oh, this is beautiful, wonderful. No. Whenever I do something that they know I can do better, they're like, you can do better. All to this day.
Yeah.
Latino parents.
Oh my goodness. My dad, every show, the first person I ask, how do you feel it went, is my dad. Really? And he is very, very, loving. And, he says it with a great attitude and everything, but he will not hide back.
Nice.
He would always say the truth. I appreciate it. I think it's important. And my mom could be a little bit more, obviously moms are different, but my dad for sure will always say how he feels about it from an audience point of view.
Okay.
Which is always different from what we feel up there.
Exactly.
So what was it that made you want to start Encore?
Ooh, okay.
How did the foundation of Encore begin?
Okay. So I always loved teaching. Since I was a little girl in the conservatory back in Cuba, I liked always to help students if they had to, practice a little extra, a little part that they couldn't play. I would sit with them. I would practice with them. I always liked that. And both of my parents are also, although my mom's a chemist, but she was a teacher at university. My dad also is an architect, but he also was part of a school that he also run. And so I think it's in the blood. I think they do have that capacity to teach and teach well. So I always saw it in them, and they will always have people over. My mom would always be tutoring people, etc. So I always saw that kind of close to me, and I love it from a very early age. And I think when in high school, it all started. Like I started writing ideas, things that I wanted to do when I open a school. I always knew I was going to open a school.
That's the key word right there.
Oh, yes.
You already knew you were going to do it.
Yes. I didn't know how or when, but I had my own little book of notes.
I'm so glad you said that because honestly, I think that once you say to yourself, it's a non-negotiable. I have to do it.
Of course. And it was always like that little, I don't know, dream you want to call it. And I still have that book somewhere with everything, little notes here and there. So when I graduated from high school, that I started going to FIU, I already had in my mind this project. Like I had it visualized on paper. And I started teaching I was 17, from my house. Actually, my very first piano student. To this day, I'm still in contact with her parents and everything. Yes, Leonardo Almeida, I will never forget. Very talented young boy. And I would teach him in my mom's house, my parents' house. And from there, I did many things from calendars to applications to, recitals, programs, everything from day one. And I used to do the recitals. The very first one was in my house, actually, in my parents' house. In their
How many children were there in the recital? Three. Thank you.
3 and me. And then it was very nice. We did it and it came out really, really beautiful. And from there, I continue. I always taught while I was in college. Like I had my private students. I taught at other schools. And I also started teaching from zero. Like they had just opened at the Miami Conservatory of Music, which became my family. The owner, Brigitte Kishler, to this day, we're great friends. She is an absolutely incredible woman. And I remember when I went to the interview with her, they were looking for piano teachers. And I said, I love this place. I will work here as if this was my own. But I want you to know that one day, this is my dream. But I will do everything in my capacity to make this place great, give it all. But when that time comes, I will let you know. And I worked there for 9 years.
Wow.
9 years. And I brought in people like Darlene Trujillo, the teacher that helped me when I first came to Miami. She taught there for many years. Her husband, who's a great violinist, also taught there for many, many years. And that became a beautiful project. And I worked there for many, many years until I, was ready to open my own. And I even continued teaching one student that I had that was about to graduate. So I kept going to Brigitte to teach her until, and then a year later is when I opened my place. So to this day, we're great friends. It was a wonderful, wonderful place to work at.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Deborah, so how do you approach teaching music to students with different learning styles or skill levels?
Great question. I think that every student has the capacity to learn, to play an instrument, to develop that skill. And obviously, there are kids that are naturally talented. They come with something already in their system. Others, not necessarily. But every child is capable of learning, and it is a wonderful tool for them, whether they become musicians or not, whether they go into the world of music making or not. It is wonderful for their development, for their growth. So what we do is we adapt to the student in the sense that we first find out how they are, what they can do, what they cannot. And then we focus on their weaknesses and we develop, their strength. We try to bring in the best in every child, whether it is through different methods, different books, different music. It has to be adapted to them. We cannot teach just one way and apply it to all of them because it just simply doesn't work. The kids that come here are not auditioned to do music. They all come where they are, whether they're from 0 or sometimes they come from other teachers or other institutions. It's a wide range, and it's the same way with the methods that we use. There's not really a specific one that we use for everyone. No, we really adapt.
And how do you balance like the classical training or contemporary or, popular styles? Like how do you go about that?
Yes, voice specifically is probably the hardest because they listen to a lot of radio and pop music. So they come and they are maybe, 8 years old and they want to sing the songs that even the words are not appropriate for them or they're not even ready to understand what they're singing.
Listen, we were listening to some songs.
Oh my goodness. Yes. It was like, okay, what is this? Like, I don't think they get it. So,
do you remember? I feel a little bump coming through. We had no business singing that song.
Crazy. So for me, it's like, and many of these songs, sometimes I don't listen to the radio on a regular basis. So I listen to all classical music, which is, many of my students are like, you don't know who, this is a joke, but they're like, you don't know who Taylor Swift is? I'm like, oh, no, I do know. But I mean, some performers, I really don't even know who they are. So they come with these songs that they want to do. So we don't want to be like, no, you cannot sing that. We kind of say, okay, let's do it in class, but now when it comes to the performance, we try to guide them to more musical theater songs, to more songs that are appropriate for their age, Disney songs, or things that are more for their development, for their age. Now in piano, it's a little bit different because obviously the classical music, that's what we teach, and we try to encourage that from day one. But if they come, I want to play this, I don't know, again, from Disney songs. And I always tell, okay, as long as you're ready to play the song and we can even recognize what the song is. Because sometimes they make it so easy, like they arrange it, or that you don't even know what the song is. You know what I mean? Because it's missing so much that it's not, it's not even sounding the right way. So when you play classical music, you're able to have music that is from day one appropriate for that age. And it sounds. So it's tough because you don't want to discourage them. You don't want them to feel, oh, this is boring. We want to choose music that they relate or they like. But this is probably the hardest thing.
So how does your personal musical interest influence your training of students? Like your favorite music?
I'm completely classical. Yeah. So classical music for me, it's all beautiful. So I sometimes have to play 20 pieces for them to say, okay, yes, I like that one. Because they don't like any of it. I'm just like, you really don't? And they're like, no, this is so slow. I'm like, oh, okay, let's find something else. So sometimes I find myself playing 20 pieces and they're so like, you know. So, but I don't give up. It's very hard for me to give up. And my students know that. So sometimes they're like, she's not going to change her mind. So let's choose something or be here for 3 hours.
Music.
Yeah. I think they sometimes even realize that there is classical music everywhere. And there is, even in their video games. I have this student that one time came and he's like, oh, I love this piece, Deborah. And then he played it for me and it's Ballade by Chopin. And it was in this whole, I'm like, where did you hear this? I'm like, curious. I'm like, oh, you listen to classical music? No, this video game. I'm like, bueno, at least it's a video game. I'm happy that they use it in that way. So they're sometimes surprised to find classical music everywhere.
So, Deborah, I had the privilege of being able to come to one of your Christmas shows that I was invited to by a family member. And I love seeing the kids perform from very little to, they're about to graduate. And there was one performance by a young man that I think you know who we're talking about.
Yes.
And I was crying. Like I had tears and I just felt like, okay, let's talk, if it's okay with you.
Of course.
Let's talk about that young man and how that's impacted your school and you and what you see in the future, hopefully.
Of course. Well, so Nico, it's a very special boy. He came to me about 2 years ago and he came to just find out about the school, to get him prepared to audition for middle school for the magnet program. Little did I know that he had been learning on his own. Like he started learning piano on his own he had been doing it for 3 years using YouTube video.
Wow.
Basically, he can read all these videos that you see with lights. They come up and down, and he's able to read that like if it was music. And when I heard him play...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm not following. What is that?
They are these videos on YouTube where the music is all digital, and you see the notes that you're about to play are coming down like it looks like a waterfall.
Right. Really?
Isn't it a game?
Isn't that like Guitar Hero?
I have no idea.
Like Guitar Hero does.
I have no idea, but it's to me, it's
another world,
mind blowing. I don't understand it myself. But
wow,
he came to me and he performed like one piece, which was already a very high level piano piece that he had learned. It's one of the hundreds of pieces that he has in his mind. And I was blown away. I really couldn't believe what I was listening to. And from that point on, he started coming to Encore several days a week and just mastering his incredible talent. And it has been a beautiful journey. He has an incredible gift passion for music that I really have never seen before. And especially that ability to read those things, but also now he reads music like a pro. Like he really learns how to read the music, and he's able to do it just as well. And right now he's actually in a festival in Europe for piano, and he has classes every single day, performances. I mean, I can't wait to see him and hear about this incredible experience with the Miami International Piano Festival. So it's been a great experience.
Would he be considered a child prodigy?
Yes, in my opinion, he's definitely.
I think as a music teacher, that's the dream, to be able to have children of all levels.
Of all levels.
And be able to potentially have a child prodigy that you will also have been able to help get better.
For sure, working with him has been a beautiful journey. Like I have discovered so many things. I just seeing how he learns, how he plays, how he memorizes things on the spot. It has been mind-blowing. And I like to work with every type of children. Like I don't have a preference. I think that from every different type of student, I learn so much. It gives you so much, with those that are harder to teach because they could be a little bit more moving a lot in the room or just not focus as much. I have learned about patience, about giving them another try, not giving up on them. And then these kids that have it naturally and they can do it so easy. So I concentrate on other things. So every student brings so much. And to me, I enjoy them all. Even the harder ones, the really, really hard ones, I think. When I see that I'm able to get something from those children, it gives me so much joy because it's so hard. I know how hard it is. Yeah.
So what do you do when you have a child that maybe is struggling and is doubting themselves or perhaps says, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to quit? How do you talk to them?
I usually don't let them, I actually...
no vas a hacer.
I can't. I'm like, no
puedes.
I know this is, especially one that I know enjoys it.
Esa es la Latina in you. No.
Like, what? What are you saying? I don't think so. Well, actually, I have a student, the student of mine, she's right now, she graduated from Berklee College of Music. She writes her own songs. She's a songwriter. And when I think they reach a point around 9th, 10th grade when it becomes really difficult with school and the practicing is just too much for them, that they just hit the wall and they're like, it's so hard. I don't have the time, etc., etc. So this student of mine, she was not the typical student that played classical music. It was very hard for me to find something she liked, and probably one of the few students of my own studio that never played a sonatina or a minuet because she would not learn it. Like she would just say, no, I can't. I don't want it. I don't like it. So she came to me one day in the middle of high school and she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is too hard. I cannot do it. She was like crying and I said, you're not quitting. I'm sorry. Yeah, like no. You have this great talent and you love it. I know it's hard. I will help you. Do not worry. You're not quitting. So she comes to me as a senior and she's like, I want to apply for Berklee College of Music. I want to major in music. And I said, I'm so happy I never let you quit because here you are.
Right.
And yeah, I get that. And sometimes parents are the ones who push for this because they're like, you never practice and, I'm wasting my money and you're not doing this. And I always say, let them. My own child doesn't practice. She comes here every week and she has an hour of piano. She enjoys it. She has a great time with the teacher. The teacher is able to advance with her slowly because, of course, she doesn't practice at home. So then it takes 100 times more months to learn something. Right. But I am happy with her coming here once a week, doing something that's good for her brain, for her life, for her own enjoyment.
Self-esteem.
Yeah. And yes, I'm okay with her not knowing 100 pieces, one piece a year. That's fine. I'd rather have that than not, So when the parents become very pushy about it and they think that they're wasting their time and money because they're not practicing at home, I always tell them, leave them alone. It's okay. It's fine.
Look at the bigger picture.
Exactly. That hour a week that they're coming here is one less hour on that phone, one less hour watching TV, or one less hour, God knows what. So let it be.
Right. If I knew how to play 2 or 3 songs on the piano, I would be playing them every Thanksgiving and every Christmas for the rest of my life.
Exactly. So it's fine. Like I think it's good regardless. If they don't practice on their own at home, okay, it's fine. If it brings them anxiety, if it brings them like they don't feel good about themselves because not, okay, fine, you stop. Because if you're going to have that, let's say, battle in your head, oh, I didn't practice, I'm not going to be okay, right. I'm going to have this meltdown in the class, then of course, if it's not adding to you and it's just giving you more problems, then of course. But if not, let it be. Don't push it. Don't push it.
I think that's the power of teachers.
Yes.
How they impact certain students' lives.
Exactly.
And the power of not only just music, but it could be sports, it could be math, anything. But teachers make such a huge difference.
100%.
And I'm a big advocate in looking out for our educators because things are different now.
Right. 100%.
You know, and a lot of teachers sometimes feel like, wow, like, am I even making a difference? But I want you to know that you are.
Thank you. I really hope that they get something out of it, whether, you know, the student that has the incredible talent and becomes a pianist, professional pianist, I hope they can do something positive and something good with that also at the end of the day. And those that just do it for fun, that's, you know, a general education or just as a hobby. Also, I hope that they can do it for the rest of their lives. I always say when they're able to perform in front of an audience, when they're able to learn a piece by memory and perform it live, that is a life skill.
Exactly. It is.
When they go to college and they have to talk in front of an audience, they will be a lot less nervous than those that have never done that. I wish when I was little that I did musical theater, for example. I think musical theater, it's incredible. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do from an early age because they learn about talking, pronunciation, presence, so many things that are great for life. Drawing. I remember I did a lot of drawing when I was a child. I went to camps where I would do painting and it has helped me to this day. I have done art classes and I love it. I'm always doing crafts and things because I enjoy that very much. And I think it had to do with my early years. I did it all my life.
My kids, they love music and they did it for fun. I had somebody coming to the house and giving them music lessons, but it was more fun. It's funny that you say they want to play all the music from today.
Yes, that's what they can relate.
My son had the guitar, so he was trying to learn like Bob Marley songs. And my daughter with the piano.
Yes.
But then COVID hit.
Oh.
And he couldn't come to my house anymore to give him lessons anymore. And they never went back to doing the lessons. But every now and then she'll take out the piano and play whatever she learned. I found the two of them with their guitars in the living room, trying to remember
That's awesome.
the Bob Marley song that they played. They like instruments.
That's great. That's great. That's what it's all about, that they can have it for life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my stepson learned to play the guitar watching YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter just bought the little drum set that she remembered, the one in the room, just because for fun. Yeah. Exactly. Trying to learn on YouTube as well.
Why not? It's every child, I think. And as sometimes they come to you little without, 4 or 5 year old and they don't know that they have that gift. And then if you see that gift and that little seed there, you want to be able to get it to that next level and that next level. Mm-hmm. That's also it's really the teacher's job, and it's a very specific one that if you you don't do it well, you can completely stop that development. If you do it well, then you see the results. And it happens even with Nico, that's such an advanced student as well. Like that is such a big responsibility as a teacher to be able to bring experiences to him, to bring a lot of competitions and things and concerts and things that will develop that talent to another level. If you just come to class once a week and that's it, it's not going to do it.
Exactly.
So every level requires so much from the teacher, from the family as well. Consistency, coming to classes, not missing. If they practice at home, great. If they don't, again, it's not the end of the world. We can still do things in the classroom. It's a whole package. Yeah.
You gave an example about, like, let's say a student having anxiety with doing the pressure and the shows and all that.
Yes.
Have you ever had a child that learning music helped with anxiety?
100%.
Yeah.
Many. And those that have a big fear for performing in front of an audience, I have done both things. I have pushed for the performance regardless, and it has been good, positive outcome. And when I see it's way too much, then I don't. Because if it goes well, fantastic. But if it doesn't, it's so high, the anxiety, that it could also hurt them more than help them. So I do then a little small recital in the room. I bring their parents, I bring friends, I bring, not friends, but students that are around or a teacher, and I do it in here. At least it gives them the opportunity to perform, but not in front of 150 people, but 10 or 12.
It could be a gradual.
Like a gradual step by step.
It's good that you do that.
Yeah, because I think if it's at such a high level, it needs to be treated not just with music, but with other help.
Yes.
And if it's not done properly, it could harm them. So I don't push to that level. There's so much I know as in that field, and I just use common sense.
What role does music education play in shaping the community?
I think music helps every child build resilience, build self-esteem, build community. I think that by bringing people together for performances, for shows, it really brings a lot of joy to the community. I always see every time I do, for example, the musical theater shows, I invite people from outside, like parents, of course, will go to see their children, but I also tell people around that I know will love seeing something like that. Mm-hmm. And it never fails to get the same comments. Oh my God, this was so beautiful. I wish more people can see these things, because music and art in general, it's important for life. It's for the soul, for enjoyment, for, I don't know, it just disconnects you from the world out there, and it just brings you to another level that as humans, we need it. Mm-hmm. We need it. And it's a time of just enjoying beauty.
So let me ask you a question, being that we're tapping into community and how it impacts and public school systems, for example. So what changes would you like to see in the way that music is taught or supported in, like, especially public schools?
Right.
Because, that's usually the first program that's kicked out. That's usually the first one that's defunded.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, one of the first thing I would love to see is piano program back at New World School of the Arts. That was taken away years ago because of funding, because piano is more of a solo instrument. It's not like an orchestra, like a violin in an orchestra or wind instruments in a wind ensemble. So piano becomes a very small program that, of course, takes a lot of money, I guess, or funding, and they took it away. So piano itself, it's hard to see in public schools in general. Coral Reef had a piano program. It was all keyboards, like an ensemble. That was also taken away. So piano itself, it's hard to see in public schools. It would be great to have it back, like have piano labs where they could have, like this right here. If you can see for the summer program, we do a keyboard band where they get the basics of piano playing, and then if they really love it, they can go into private classes or whatever. But piano program per se, it's pretty much nowhere to be found in public schools at all. And I believe music should be taught at every level, from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade.
I agree.
Should be something that is part of their curriculum and should not be optional, I think. Yeah. And within music, it could be choir, it could be orchestra, it could be even musical theater, it could be art. Just art should be definitely part of the program.
I agree with almost everything that you're saying, because I did suffer a lot from self-esteem and not believing in myself. And not to go back to what I was saying about my high school music teacher, but it was just getting on that stage. I had stage fright. I remember I had like a small little solo. Mm-hmm. I started crying on stage. I was humiliated. And the next day she was like, it's okay. Life happens. Next time you'll do better. You're not quitting.
Exactly.
And it's not like I'm this great singer. That's not the point.
No.
It was just something to help me believe in myself. And that's why I like what you're saying. And if there's parents listening right now thinking, should I put my child in some type
Please do.
Please do.
Please do.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
It's not about making your child a star.
No.
It's about helping your child develop and believing themselves and giving them the tools that they need to succeed in life.
100%. And I get this a lot too. Can you maybe do a little exam to see if my child has what it takes to take music lessons? And I always say, I don't need that. I mean, if you're going into a music school where I grew up, where you had to have certain skills or certain traits to get into these schools, okay. But this is a different type of school. This is open to all all children, and is for, creating the next generation of either musicians, music lovers, supporters of the arts. We're teaching them about art. We're teaching them about how to appreciate it also. Whether they become musicians or not is not the point. So yes, they should all try it in one way or another. But more importantly, also children with certain disabilities or what they call issues. We have had students come that their doctors have said they're not going to ever move their fingers. They're never going to be able to speak. They're never going to be able to this and that. And here they are performing, learning music. There's one particular student that for years, every show, he had a different issue, let's say. There's one time that he said, please, I want you to tell the audience not to clap at all. Like, I want to go in, play, and out, and I don't want any clapping. The kid, I went out and I said that. He went on stage. He played, he was playing and crying at the same time.
Pobrecito.
He did not miss one note. He played beautifully, finished. People were like dying to clap because it was incredible. Well, this year, that same child was like, Deborah, I'm going to be the last one and I'm closing the show. The kid was incredible.
Wow.
He is a completely different child now, fine with all the clapping, ready to be on stage. And this kid was just, the transformation has been incredible.
That's incredible.
And I think music has had an important aspect in his life. He wouldn't be where he is right now without this music.
Well, music has a great impact on your brain.
It does.
100%. It's like a gem on your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even like people with Alzheimer's, if you play the one song, like they remember. They're clear as day and they're in that moment. Yeah. Music is very impactful.
For sure. For sure. I think it's wonderful if they can do it. Please don't think about it twice. Go for it. It does take work. I'm not going to say. Because for the parents also to come here, to take them home, homework, dinner, these classes happen after school. So it is not easy
but it's rewarding at the end, after all that work.
Yes, exactly. But it's hard.
It's hard. It's intense.
It's not, it's easier to just go home and, not take that time. But I think it's very rewarding. It's great for all of them.
Are there any charities or organizations that you're affiliated with?
Well, to me, giving back, it's very important. I think that we should all do something. It doesn't matter how small it is. It's the way to really make this a better world, in any capacity that we can. So my daughter back in 9th grade, at the end of 8th grade, actually, it was actually around the pandemic year. She was in 8th grade. We started, my husband loved to knit and my daughter too. And they started making bags by, knitting them. And we thought it would be a great idea to sell art and to do art for charities and to donate that money to charities. So Carmela's Heart is actually a very dear foundation to my heart. It was founded by one of our flamenco teachers that she taught here for a few years, whose daughter passed away from cancer at the age of 15.
So sorry.
It was a very, very difficult time, of course, and it still is. But she used her grief to create something beautiful, and she founded Carmela's Heart Foundation. And this foundation helps children around the world, from Mary's Meals. I don't know if you've heard of that. So they support Mary's Meals. They support people in Venezuela. They support people in Africa. They do a beautiful job. So what we have done is we created our own foundation. It's called Art of Hope. And through music, concerts, through art, through even the children here at Encore, they have created art pieces and things along with Mrs. Carol, the art teacher. We sell this in different events and we donate it to Carmela's Heart. We have raised over $10,000 already and we have given back a lot from that project. This year also we combine our efforts to help Miss Garces, the teacher that was my very first teacher back in Braddock. She also has a foundation called Misión Domingo Sabio, and she also helps people in the Dominican Republic. And this year, part of the proceeds went to her. And also Blue Missions. I don't know if you heard about Blue Missions.
No.
But Blue Missions, it's a foundation that helps people in the Dominican Republic as well. They build latrines. I actually went with my daughter about 3 years ago to one of their trips. My kids are now, actually my son is going now, and they build latrines over there.
Wow.
And they build water paths for the people. So it's a very beautiful project. It's a great foundation itself, and Encore supports them as well. So we try to do the best we can, and I want to do a lot more. Mm-hmm. That's just the beginning. But giving back is very important to me. So many people help me that is only fair for me to give back.
And that's why I'm grateful that you were a willing participant in this episode on Red Lips Real Talk, because these podcasts get listened, even if it's listened by 20 people or 2,000 people. It's a way that you are raising awareness on things, and people can say, hey, how can I make a difference? Maybe I can donate or another cause. But if all of us combine together to try and make a difference in the world, it's an extremely powerful thing.
It is, and very necessary. I think that we're blessed in ways that we don't even know.
Yeah.
And
that we take for granted.
Mm-hmm. And when you see, when I went to this Blue Missions trip, we were there for a week. And I mean, it to me wasn't too impactful in the sense that it reminded me of Cuba. I lived 13 years of my life there. So I experienced that very much. No water, no food, no this, no internet. No. So for me, none of that was completely new. For my daughter, it was. And it was life-changing. I thought it was wonderful. And I think every child should experience something like that too.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Really see how blessed they are, and to see how, I remember before getting into the plane, the founder, he said, I want you all to think about who the real poor are, because when you are in there, not talking about money, but talking about poor in spirit, poor in your heart, and it was a beautiful, beautiful week. Beautiful, life-changing. My daughter loved it so much she went back the following year with my son, and now my son loved it so much he went back. She couldn't do it because she's now off to college. We didn't know how this summer was going to be, and you have to pretty much do this at the beginning of the year prior. But I recommend it to everyone if they can go and do this. It's wonderful. There you have all ages groups. So actually, I went to that all ages without knowing I was going to be the oldest after me was 20 years old. I was the only 40 plus lady there, but it was great.
But 40 plus is where it's at, Deborah. What are you talking about?
I was like, okay, so I'm in charge of all these kids.
Look, your hair and your red lipstick and your little black dress. Girl.
Thank you. It was fun. I just didn't know if I could walk all those mountains up there, but I did. Yeah. And actually, Miss Garces is now there. She's one of the chaperones this year, and she's 70 plus, and she's doing this.
Wow. I love it.
Mission. Like, she's an inspiring woman that, I'm like, I want to be like her when I grow up.
Yeah.
Because she is such a spirit person and ready to help the community anyway. And actually, even she comes here to volunteer also. She comes whenever we have shows and stuff. She's here helping with all the costumes and this. And now she's like doing latrines in the Dominican Republic. And she's 70 plus.
We need to step up, ladies. Yeah. Red Lips needs to do something. This is inspiring us to be better human beings.
That project, I think you'll love. Yeah? You should take it up.
Yeah.
Okay. For sure.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I always like to ask this question to all of our guests. It's probably a loaded question, but if you could go back in time and tell yourself one thing about your music journey or things that maybe you could have done differently, what do you think it would have been?
Oh,
it's loaded. It's loaded.
That is
But you'd be surprised what you say.
Oh, wow.
You could take a minute.
Wow. I think, the whole journey of, in my case, it has been two journeys. The journey of learning my craft and learning music and all that. And then obviously my journey in Encore. Is it more my journey in Encore or my journey as a musician?
Whichever one you feel. Encore.
Okay, let's go Encore, yeah. Mm-hmm. My journey with Encore, I think it has been a process of discovering things, of constantly changing, adding, and making it better. I don't think I'm done, not even halfway. So from day one, I'm a believer that I have so much more to do and so many things to do differently and better.
I see that. That's why I asked that question, even though it was loaded, because now maybe it's because we're similar in age here.
Yes.
But I just feel like we're starting.
Yes.
Like we're starting 100%. The best years of our life. And I just get this feeling from you that the best is yet to come.
Exactly.
You're already thinking like, okay, let's do this.
100%.
Because that's how we think.
100%. So from day one, I was happy where I was because it was the beginning stages, but I was not comfortably just to sit there and not do anything else because there was no way. Right. So actually, as a matter of fact, Encore, when it first started, was just music. So it was a tiny little place very close to here, about 8 rooms. 1,200 square foot. So very, very tiny. And we started with 40 students of my own plus 20 of my best friend Jackie. So it was about 60 kids. And I was happy that was the beginning of Encore, but I knew that was just the beginning of Encore. So
where you at now, girl?
Oh, many more. So I knew that I wanted to expand into having art and having musical theater and dance. I had no idea what that program.
That's another world.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I had no clue how intense and how big that was going to be and how difficult it is. Because now I look back and the music program is the easiest to run in a way because it's more individualized, like it's the student and the teacher. Yes, you want to develop each student at their own level, etc., but it's more individual. It's not as a group setting. Right. When we're talking about musical theater and big productions and art and group classes.
And the costumes.
And the costume, the dance program. Dance is another world too, because dance...
Y las pelucas.
And the sets and the theaters and the
Girl,
backstage.
When they have 4 or 5 wigs, I was like, ooh.
So it's so intense. Little did I know back then that I was going to get into such a big, and that's how this location came along, because my dad back then, he helped me obviously find the original Encore, the place, and he was the one who built that place inside.
Wow.
Yes. And then when I told my dad, we don't fit here anymore, we need to start looking for a bigger place. And then we couldn't find a place that was obviously ready to do all these things. So it took about a year, and then we found this place, and we had to knock it down completely and built it. It took about a year. Wow. My dad did it as well.
That's why your dad be telling you stuff, girl.
Of course. He knows.
Por eso papi está, oye, no me gustó.
No, it's okay fue. So my dad was the one who built the inside of Encore too as well. And, here we are reinventing ourselves every single day.
Right.
Well, and good for you.
Yes, there is really not, I know that this is just the beginning, like you said, and there's so much more to learn, so much more to add, so much more to do better and differently that it's just hard to say, honestly.
Well, congratulations. And I hope
pleasure.
one day Red Lips gets an invitation to a great show.
Oh my God, of course. You are invited already to every single one of them.
Do you have a big one coming up soon?
Well, now in the summer, it's probably, and I was telling this to my husband, this is pretty much the only time of the year that I'm not preparing for a show.
Okay.
I actually used to do summer camp shows. And then I decided to not do them because it was too much. It was too much. And parents were exhausted too. Like, I'm a parent too. And I'm like, I don't want any more shows. I want just getting ready. Yeah. And just getting ready for the new school year. It's intense already. So we dropped that summer camp show a few years ago. And I'm happy that we did that. So now we're getting ready, finishing summer camp. Well, no, not finishing. We're kind of halfway. And then getting ready for the school year. And then in December is when we have our very first show. Okay. And from there, it's nonstop until June.
So you still have a summer camp. You just don't do shows during the summer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. We have the summer camp going, 8 weeks of summer camp. We just finished week 3. And now 5 more to go.
Okay.
And they go by.
Like, but Maritza, you need to see cuando salen las niñas chiquiticas. They're like so little with their little fancy dresses and their bows and their little high heel shoes que hacen tiki tiki tiki, and with a little violin que is bigger than their whole body.
I know.
And they're like
adorable.
I had my daughter dance for like pre-K, so I remember those shows.
Yeah.
They brought Glenn out on the stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those shows. Yeah, my husband.
That's so sweet.
That's so nice. Yeah, Daddy and me or something.
Daddy and me.
Like that. This is very cute.
Yeah.
So little did I know that the program was going to be.
Yeah.
So much more than what it first started being, just music only.
And what's to come.
And what's to come. Yes, for sure. That we're constantly, like, just this yesterday, we did, for the first time, was the idea of Miss Carol, who is an incredible woman. She's like, why don't we do a drive-by art exhibit? I'm like, oh, I think that's great.
What do you mean drive by? How does that work?
So you know how the kids they get dropped off in the morning for summer camp and they picked up in the afternoon. So we put the art pieces that they did throughout the week. This week, we put it outside by the wall and they drove by. And it was great.
That's pretty
very nice. It didn't rain. I was like, yes.
I see. I was thinking, ¿y la lluvia?
Y la lluvia. When I couldn't take them out until an hour later, but I was able to do it before they first
That's really
started.
Cute.
So ideas that, even this year in the show that we did in March, she also did art as a runway. Mm-hmm. So the kids wore their art. And that was also very different and new. It was very cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like that. So we're constantly trying to think of ways to make it different.
I think trying to always come up with stuff is challenging, even for us, because we're like, we want to do things that the community wants to listen to, but that also we like.
Exactly.
And then Maritza's like very organized, and so is Monica. Yo soy la loca. And they're like, put it in the drive. And I'm like, I text them, let's do this, let's do that. Jasmine, put it in the drive. I'm like, okay. Because I just, I'm a very emotional, I'm sporadic. Exactly. But you got to have organization, girl.
Oh my goodness. Number one, I'm a combination, I think, of the two. I love to organize. That's one of my hobbies. I love it. But I'm also on the spot. Like, then I call for that. Nati, she's hilarious. She's like, every time you get in the car, the first person you call is me. Because the minute I get in the car, more ideas come to me. So she's like, oh, here you are again. And then I call her and then, I said, but you just left. So I'm like, I know, but when I get in the car, that's when my ideas come better. And I'm peaceful in my car, silence.
Oh, I called Monica almost at 10 o'clock at night driving home because we had just finished doing a show. And I'm like, Monica. She goes, what, Jasmine?
I was like, 10 o'clock.
Let's do an episode on Britney Spears. And she was like, put it on the drive, Jasmine.
So they can get done.
Yeah.
So see, even with talking about Nati is my right hand, my left hand. She's my, my backbone.
Right.
But she, with the change, she's not her favorite thing. So whenever, she's comfortable with something, here I come with another new idea. She's like, what? No, Deborah, really? No, we don't need that. I'm like, yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
I remember Fridays, we had to move musical theater for the minis from Saturday to Fridays. And Friday used to be a very peaceful Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we have to, because we don't fit on Saturday. So we have to move minis to Friday. She's like, why? No, that's not going to work. People are not going to come on Friday because that's like and then, Nati, we're doing it. 30 plus students. The biggest group we ever had was on Fridays. I'm like, you see, I'm not going to listen to you. Like, oh, Deborah. I'm like, yes.
Oh, wow. Bueno, Deborah, this has been a wonderful show. We want to thank you from Red Lips to do this. I'm going to tell you right here that you helping others finding their voice through music and the arts, you make a bigger difference than you probably realize in our South Florida community. Your passion for music is contagious, and it inspires everyone around you.
Thank you.
The way that you connect with your students shows how much you care, and that makes your teaching truly special.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you. And
thank you.
Monica, got something to say?
I'm going to read a poem that we found. It's called The Beauty of Music. A whisper is soft, a thunder loud, a sound that lifts us past the clouds. In every note, a story is told. In every chord, emotions unfold. It dances light on winds that blow. It paints the sky with highs and lows. A friend in joy, a guide through pain. It speaks the words we can't explain. So close your eyes, just let it play. The beauty of music will show the way.
Oh, that's beautiful. I need a copy of that. Oh, I need to put
Thank
that
you,
on the wall.
GPT.
Well, incredible.
We could have said, it was us. We wrote it.
Just keep it that way. Yeah.
Bueno, Deborah, from the bottom of our hearts,
from
one Latina to one other Latina, you're doing incredible things.
Yes,
Muchas gracias por tu tiempo. Do you want to give a little shout out to anybody before we end the show?
First of all, thank you. You're doing also a beautiful, beautiful thing for the community. I think these talks are wonderful, and you definitely need to continue. Don't give up. It's even on those moments where you're like, I'm crazy. Why am I doing this? Is this too much work?
I don't know if you know this, but my goal is to have Pitbull on the show.
Oh, you will have him.
I have to have Pitbull.
You will have him.
I'm always like, people, if you're listening. Pero he's not, Deborah.
You never know.
Pero tú sabes, you're in music.
Exactly.
You'd be like, oh, you know Pitbull?
No, well.
Red Lips Real Talk.
Well, how about maybe FIU? You know, now he's big with FIU.
¿Viste?
You know?
So Pitbull.
So yeah, hello. I'm a graduate from FIU. Maybe he just gets to know. Bueno, I definitely want to thank my family, my husband, my children, my dad, my mom, my brother, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my entire family. This is really, I couldn't do this without them at all. The hours that it takes to do everything, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, are endless. And really, there is no way I could have done it without their support and their understanding that without them, I couldn't do this. And they know how much I love this and how much it has impacted my whole family too, because all the children in our family have passed through Encore in some way or another. And they have built so beautiful memories. They still remember their times in summer camp and times in the shows. And it has it's memories for life. Yeah. So it really, I want to thank them for everything and for believing in me and not giving up. And especially on those days that I'm stressed out and not as joyful.
If you're a little stressed out, just put a little Pitbull on.
Exactly. Just they put up with me even on those moments. And of course, all the faculty, the teachers that make Encore so special. It's probably one of the hardest things is to find the right people to work with. Right. And in the art world, I think especially probably difficult because they just cannot just be wonderful performers. They need to love teaching, be able to communicate well, be okay with all different styles, different ways of teaching, or at least adapt to the students. And it's just so many different skills that to find that it's not easy. And I'm really very blessed to have an incredible group of 30 plus teachers that are really fantastic. So
shout out to the whole staff.
Encore. And of course, Natty as well, who is also such a wonderful support. She has been with us for over 12 years now. Wow. And she knows. She just looks at me and she knows exactly what I'm thinking. And that's just, what a person, she's, I can trust her 100%. Yeah. She is wonderful with the, people, with her families, So it's a whole teamwork that I couldn't do without them, really.
So Deborah, before we leave, why don't you tell our listeners the name of your school, how to contact you guys, your website, Instagram, because you never know, you may have new people who want to join your school.
Awesome. Well, for sure, it's never too late to learn how to play an instrument. We have all kinds of ages here. We have adults as well, and we have students of all backgrounds, whether they have done it when they were little and now they return to us. There is a large variety. So yes, you can contact us via either on Instagram, Encore Academy of the Arts, or you can call us. Our number is 786-580-3812. And you can always leave us a message if Miss Natty is not here to pick up the phone. And also you can check out our website at EncoreAcademyOfTheArts.com. And you can read about us, about the different programs that we offer, etc.
So thank you to our listeners. We hope that you have enjoyed this special show on music and the arts and children. And if you have liked the show, please leave us a like, a comment, or share, because we really appreciate you.
Hasta la próxima. Thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe to our show so you don't miss an episode. We will be dropping an episode every 2 weeks. Oh yeah. No, seriously. Subscribe now.
So just chill. To the next episode. Follow us on Insta and TikTok.
Hasta la próxima.